Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. I want to talk about this psycho stalker dude with this gay scorned lover obsession with me. His name is Rooster Rants on YouTube. And this is the problem with the Father's Rights movement. There's too many people who are fighting, like the very few people like me who actually want to do something and actually tell the truth and actually fight the right way. Everybody's in there with their own little egos, their own little mind made up. Most people in the Father's Rights movement or Father's Rights groups or hashtag TFRM are a bunch of people who lost in court and get a group together and they give each other advice from their loser standpoint. So let's take a look at this video. If you go to my YouTube channel, there's a video where I talk about don't use a lawyer. Why are you complaining about the cost when you could go pro se for free? So first of all, I'm telling people to represent themselves. I got $50,000 worth of free videos. If you add it all up in the time, and it would cost you $50,000 for an attorney to tell you the stuff that I'm telling you. But they won't do that. They won't tell you the stuff I'm telling you. So it's worth even more than that. And I got full custody of my daughter and won in court. I've won in the Court of Appeals a couple times against an attorney with 40 plus years experience. I've destroyed guardian items and I've won multiple hearings. So let's take a look at what Rooster Rants 1977, and the guy talked crazy about me before, but here he's back. He's got like 6 subscribers on YouTube. He kind of looks like a pedo that you would see in a movie where kids are getting abducted and stuff. But, you know, he might be a good dad. The average dad is a good dad, and maybe he got screwed in court. But Rooster Rants, and I'm going to pick apart, and this is typical of a lot of haters of me, and the difference between a loser, a crybaby, a whiner, a hater, somebody who's jealous, and somebody actually who just plain feels hopeless because they got screwed, so they hate on somebody who actually won in court. And not just me. Thousands of guys have went from zero visitation, fought off bogus restraining orders, fought off domestic violence protection orders, worked with me, won in the Court of Appeals. I got a guy, not just me, I got a couple guys who won reversals or changes in the Court of Appeals. I stopped counting at 300 dads the numbers who got custody. There's some dads who didn't even get a paid consult with me who got full custody. And you see testimonials in my video. So this guy pops in, sees a video come up on his feed, gets pissed about it, doesn't do any research or pay attention. First and foremost, he says that I was lucky to get custody. How does he know? Why does he think that? He probably got screwed and he thinks it's impossible to get custody. So I must have gotten lucky. But I fought the right way. Even though I didn't know what I was doing, all I knew was I was going to fight hard for my daughter relentlessly and not stop. So I got full custody. And that's worked for thousands of guys before me and after me. And he's saying I got lucky. How does he know? How did I get lucky when I fought off restraining orders against the mother, when I got a temporary order of 5 days a week after I got 0 at first and I kept trying? This guy probably got screwed and then he quit. Then I got the mother found in contempt. And then when we went back to court, she's trying to modify and take a bunch of stuff away from me and get more visitation. And I got her on supervised visitation because she had abandoned our daughter, our daughter for a while. Then a judge made a crappy ruling and I did an interlocutory motion to the Court of Appeals, which is harder than a regular appeal. 10 years later, when my judge screwed up on a child support order, I went to the Court of Appeals and got them reversed. I got guardian item reports kicked out of court. So I won over and over and over. You don't get lucky one time by winning over and over. So that just proves that Rooster Rants is a crybaby little bitch. And he's got a lot of feminine energy because only a woman would come in and say, oh, you got lucky, or a hater, or a jealous weirdo. So he says, look at the thumbnail. Now I'm back on the video. And when I post this on YouTube, I'll give you the link to where his comments are. But the video is, don't use a lawyer. It's one of my more recent ones. This September 23rd or 24th right now. So he says, look at the thumbnail. No one would look at that and follow advice to make a meatloaf. This guy makes me furious. So this guy is in a rage toward me after I won in court and I'm helping thousands of guys win. Who does that? You know, the Pharisees were enraged at Jesus. What was he doing? Going around helping people and they hated it. Because they're a bunch of self-righteous, demonic pricks like this little bitch. Dads are ending their lives over losing kids, but this loser is willing to down men and dads to make a buck. Okay, so I know that dads are suicidal because they feel hopeless because they're not getting help like you get from me and answers like me, and they're fighting the loser route like this Rooster Rants and all these dads did. So he's saying because dads are committing suicide, I should spend 8 hours a day consulting with people for free. Now, I never have 8 hours straight of consults, but let's say, I mean, this is what I do for a living. This guy is saying I should work for free because dads are committing suicide. First of all, I don't care how desperate you are. And I've been through some hellacious stuff. That's a punk bitch move to destroy your child's life relationship with the father permanently. And he's sitting there saying, I'm bashing dads. I'm bashing dads because dads won't fight because they're scared. They're scared of the mom. They're scared of the judge. They're scared of the system. What else are you going to do? And the reason why I can bash you is because I was just as scared as you were. I was just as scared and I didn't know what to do. And you have 100 times the information I did in 2001. You have it 10 times easier because you have the click of a mouse to find everything you need. I just talked to a guy in Nevada today. We looked up the law and we looked up some case law and we found some on-point case law for him to do some legal research. First consultation. He was overwhelmed by the information he got from me that he's gotten nowhere else. And this bitch-ass gay boy who looks like a pedophile, Roosters Rants 1977, says, I'm downing men. What am I supposed to do? For 10 years, I said, hey, you can do this. Come on, get yourself up. You can feel better about yourself. And men still turned into self-loathing, whining, crying, crybaby bitches. So I'm not dealing with those guys. Men are soft nowadays. Men are cowards. A real man, I don't care if you can fight, if you're 6'4", 240 pounds and ripped. You're a punk bitch coward if you don't want to fight for your kids. Now, all that being said, I've actually had guys and people tell me they would have killed themselves if they hadn't run into me. So this guy can F off when he says, I don't care about dads committing suicide or what. Now, I've had a couple clients who did commit suicide. They came to me and they've been in and out of court for 10 years. They didn't fight the right way. We tried one time. They lost a hearing. They quit. I lost, the first couple of hearings I had, and I kept going and kept going. So I don't know quit. So if you're mad at me for talking grow some balls and fight, then you should hate Andrew Tate. You should hate David Goggins. You should hate Cole Robinson. You should hate any CEO who says don't give up and keep fighting and don't be a coward and don't be a sissy. So Rooster Rant says, I'm definitely not professional. What do I need to be professional? A suit and tie, bitch? You are. Now, I've invited this guy to go live with me and talk for 10 minutes and tell me everything that's wrong with me. But he won't do it because he's a bitch-ass little coward and he's like a female. He's just like a crazy baby mama. He said, you're a winner in court only by luck. That's where he says I was lucky. All the times I won in the Court of Appeals against an attorney with 40 years experience, reversing the #1 judge in Seattle. Whatever, bitch. And I'm not even mad at him. It doesn't even bother me because I'm still going to have people call me and need help. It's just the audacity of a little gnat, a little mole, a little whining, crying, squealing little monkey of a bitch complaining about me when I got answers that have helped thousands of people win. And there's testimonials or people praising me in the same comments. Show this video to any quality attorney. Oh, so now he's referring to attorneys. This guy says the system is corrupt. Attorneys are the one who creates the system. Attorneys are the ones who become judges. Attorneys are the ones who have a guardian litem on board. Some of the guardian litem are attorneys. And what does he do for his moral high ground to say James is corrupt? He says attorneys wouldn't tolerate James. That's a compliment. Attorneys are the scum of the earth mafia who've created the system. And this guy's referring to attorneys. They will say that James is a loser trying to milk money. So I'm on here telling people to represent yourself for free and not spend thousands on an attorney. And he's saying I'm milking money by telling people to go to, and he's referring to attorneys who are the hustlers. See, this is when guys are so delusional from their PTSD from family court. They'll say all kinds of stupid ass shit and look like a hypocritical dumbass. He's like a mom taking advantage of a father's money, a true leech. So because I'm giving you answers that'll help restore your life with your kid, because I'm charging a few bucks, pennies on the dollar of attorneys, and guys win, that I'm some kind of bad guy. And then he says something like, I'm just here ripping people off and all this other stuff. I'm sitting here telling people and teaching them how to save thousands of dollars. And he's in another place, he says, you need at least $50,000 to even get 50-50. That's his hopeless, desperate, woe is me, woe is fathers, always depressed, bitch-ass outlook of a loser. And that's the typical father. And if you don't like it, move on and go get an attorney like this guy says.